You've been told plants are essential and meat is dangerous. But what if that belief wasn't based on science, but a mix of religious ideology, cherry picked data, and food industry profits? This isn't conspiracy, it's history. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Hi, everyone. My name's Marc Bates. I'm a metabolic health coach, and this is part of my question and answer series: How Meat Got Framed, the nutritional lie that changed everything. Excuse me. So let's go to the question. You're challenging some deeply held nutritional beliefs here. When you say the idea that plants are essential and meat is dangerous is rooted in flawed nutritional dogma. Can you walk me through exactly how this dogma developed and why the scientific establishment got it so wrong about animal foods? Absolutely. To understand why modern nutrition became biased against meat and wrongly elevated plant foods, we need to look at the historical, political, and scientific roots of this dogma. This is not a conspiracy theory. It's a case of well intended science being hijacked by ideology, weak evidence, and industrial influence. Here's a breakdown of how this flawed narrative emerged. It starts with Ancel Keys and the diet heart hypothesis. Ancel Keys, a prominent physiologist, proposed that saturated fat from foods caused heart disease by raising cholesterol. His famous 7-country studies selectively included nations that fit his hypotheses, ignoring countries like France and Germany, where high fat intake didn't correspond with high heart disease. Flaws. It was purely an observational and correlational study, not causational. He cherry picked his data. He ignored sugar, seed oils, and refined carbs as potential causes. And despite criticism, even Keys' narrative won out. It shaped the American Heart Association's dietary advice, funded in part by Procter & Gamble, a seed oil producer, the U.S. dietary guidelines starting in 1980. Okay? If you want more information on this, go get Nina Teicholz's book, The Big Fat Surprise. Alright, the rise of plant-based guidelines. Once the low-fat paradigm was established, animal foods became guilty by association. They were high in saturated fat, which is allegedly dangerous, and viewed as acidic, inflammatory, and cholesterol-raising. Meanwhile, grains, legumes, and vegetable oils were promoted as heart-healthy, low-fat and fiber-rich, and sustainable and cheap. This shift was backed by food companies, government subsidies, and nutrition panels dominated by plant-based researchers. Notably, the science never showed that saturated fat or cholesterol from whole foods caused heart disease, but the guidelines stuck anyways. Okay, and then you have industry and ideological influence. Seventh-day Adventists and similar religious organizations who promoted a meat-free living on spiritual grounds were a major part of all of these studies and these governmental agencies. Processed food companies profited from heart-healthy grains, seed oils, and plant-based meat substitutes, so they had every reason to keep pushing for this. And the pharmaceutical industry benefited from statins and metabolic medications for the very diseases this diet helped cause, because these were chronic diseases. You never cured them, and you were on these medications for life. As Jane Buxton notes in The Great Plant-Based Con, much of the evidence supporting plant-based health benefits from epidemiology, which is a correlational, not causational study, and confounded by lifestyle biases, i.e., plant eaters often smoked less and exercised more in these studies. Okay? You had a suppression of contrarian evidence. Research who questioned the low-fat anti-meat narrative, like John Yudkin, Dr. John Yudkin, who warned about sugar, or Dr. Tim Noakes, right, were marginalized or attacked, defunded or fired, ridiculed in journals and media. Yet their findings are now vindicated. Meta-analysis showed no significant link between saturated fat and heart disease. Meat consumption correlates with lower mortality in low-income populations. Carnivore and ketogenic diets outperform plant-based diets in reversing diabetes, obesity, and mental illness. Okay? 5. Modern science still lags behind reality. The establishment continues to treat red meat as a probable carcinogen, which is based on weak WHO data, push plant-forward guidelines, the DASH, MyPlate, and etc. type meal plans, and warn against saturated fat, even though LDL cholesterol alone is a poor predictor of cardiovascular risk. Why? Because the machinery of modern nutrition is slow to admit error and deeply entwined with food, pharma, and ideology. So the bottom line, plants are essential and meat is dangerous became mainstream not because of solid science, but because of a mix of bad epidemiology, selective reporting, industry lobbying, and cultural bias. Today, evolutionary biology, metabolic science, and clinical experience show the opposite. Meat is one of the most nutrient-dense, complete, and healing foods available. Many modern diseases, autoimmunity, obesity, depression, stem from excess plant toxins, seed oils, and refined carbs, not meat. All right, so thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate that. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the appropriate section. If you have some ideas, we are a community here. I'm looking for your ideas on what you want me to cover. Let me know. We'll work on those videos for you. And as always, if you haven't done so, please like, subscribe, share this video with someone who needs it. It helps the channel greatly. You might be helping a bunch of other people. Thank you so much.